Good morning, students, and welcome to Chapter 2, The Tsunami. In this lesson, we will read about the tsunami. A tsunami is a long, high sea wave caused by an earthquake or any other disturbance. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami affected Thailand and parts of India, such as the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Tamil Nadu coast. The earthquake was the third largest ever recorded. The lesson shares a few accounts of people who used their wits and fortunately survived it very courageously. Now, here is the map of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. North Andaman, Middle Andaman, Lower Andaman, Port Blair, Andaman Sea, Little Andaman. Now, these sentences you will read and rewrite the incorrect ones after the lesson is over. Then we also have the Indian Ocean, Car Nicobar, Nicobar Islands, Tarasa, Kachal, Nankauri, Little Nicobar and Great Nicobar. So this is the map of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. A tsunami is a very large and powerful wave caused by earthquakes under the sea. On December 26, 2004, a tsunami hit Thailand and parts of India such as the Andaman and Nicobar Islands and the Tamil Nadu coast. Here are some stories of courage and survival. These stories are all from the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago. Ignatius was the manager of a cooperative society in Kachal. His wife woke him up at 6 a.m. because she felt an earthquake. Ignatius carefully took his television set off its table and put it down on the ground so that it would not fall and break. Then the family rushed out of the house. When the tremors stopped, they saw the sea rising. In the chaos and confusion, two of his children caught hold of the hands of their mother's father and mother's brother and rushed in the opposite direction. He never saw them again. His wife was also swept away. Only three other children who came with him were saved. So, first we will have a look at the important words that need to be explained. The first one is archipelago. Archipelago means a group of many islands and the surrounding sea. Ignatius was the manager of the society. Tremors are shaking of the earth. The earth shakes and that is said to be a tremor. Chaos is complete disorder or confusion. Now, here as we can see, the lesson begins with the narratives of the people who were hit by a tsunami. There was a manager of a cooperative society in Kachal, one of the islands of Nicobar. His name was Ignatius. At 6 in the morning, his wife felt the tremor, felt the earthquake, and woke him up. He woke up immediately and he took the television set and put it down on the floor to prevent it from breaking. And then they left the house. As soon as the earthquake came to stop, the sea began to rise. Sanjeev was a policeman serving in the Kachal island of the Nicobar group of islands. He somehow managed to save himself, his wife and his baby daughter from the waves. But then he heard cries for help from the wife of John, the guest house cook. Sanjeev jumped into the water to rescue her, but they were both swept away. Now, as we can see that what happened after Ignatius and his family left the house, there was sheer disorder and confusion. Two of his children held hands of their mother's father, that is their uncle and grandfather, and they ran to save themselves from the waves. But Ignatius never saw them again. The waves swallowed his wife up too, and in the end, only he and his three children who stayed with him were saved. The next was Sanjeev, a policeman in Kachal. He managed to save himself and his family. He had a wife and a baby daughter, but he saw the wife of his guest house cook, John, crying for help. So he jumped into the water to save her. but unfortunately, both of them were taken away by the water. Then, let us continue to read. The 13-year-old Meghna was swept away along with her parents and 77 other people. She spent 2 days floating in the sea, holding on to a wooden door. 11 times she saw relief helicopters overhead, but they did not see her. She was brought to the shore by a wave and was found walking on the seashore in a daze. Now, this is about a girl called Meghna, who was a teenager. The waves also took with them a 13-year-old teenager and her parents and 77 other people. It turned out that Meghna managed to stay alive. How did she do that? By holding on to a wooden door. She kept floating in the water for 2 days, and during those 2 days, she noticed that there were relief helicopters trying to help. She noticed those helicopters 11 times, but those helicopters did not see her. She finally reached the seashore by a wave, and when she was found, she was in a state of complete confusion and shock. The next instance is about Almas Javed, who was 10 years old. She was a student of Carmel Convent in Port Blair, where her father had a petrol pump. Her mother Rahila's home was in Nankauri Island. The family had gone there to celebrate Christmas. Now, let us have a look at the word relief helicopters. Are helicopters bringing help to people, especially during floods? Almas Javed Almas Javed was a 10-year-old girl whose father owned a petrol pump in Port Blair. She studied in the Carmel Convent, and her family had come there to her mother's house in the Nankauri Island, which was an island in the middle part, the central part of Nicobar Islands, in order to celebrate Christmas. On the day of that disaster, when the tsunami hit, the whole family was sleeping when tremors, the earth started shaking early in the morning. And it was only when Almas's father saw the sea water moving back. Now, when the tremors came early in the morning, the family was sleeping. Almas's father saw the sea water recede. He understood that the water would come rushing back with great force. He woke everyone up and tried to rush them to a safer place. As they ran, her grandfather was hit on the head by something and he fell down. Then her father rushed to help him. Then came the first giant wave that swept both of them away. So, as we can see, children, that when Almas's father saw the seawater going back, he knew that it would come back with greater force. So, he woke everyone up and hurried them to a secure place so that they would not be harmed. And as they ran out of harm's way, Almas's grandfather got hit by something and he fell down. When he was trying to give him a hand, Almas's father ran towards him, but the first wave came and it took both of them away with it. On the other hand, Almas's mother and her aunt stood clinging to the leaves of a coconut tree, calling out to her. A wave uprooted the tree and they too were washed away. Almas saw a log of wood floating. She climbed onto it and then she fainted. When she woke up, she was in a hospital in Camorta. From there, she was brought to Port Blair. Then, Almas climbed onto a log of wood and she saw before she fainted. As she regained, sorry children, as they ran out of harm's way, Almas's mother and aunts held on to the leaves of a coconut tree, calling out to her. A strong wave came and took them with it as it uprooted the tree out of the ground. Then Almas climbed onto a log of wood and she saw before she fainted. And when she regained consciousness, she found herself in a hospital in Camorta, an island in Nicobar. The little girl does not want to talk about the incident with anyone. She is still traumatized. That means uh, when she was brought to Port Blair, She was so deeply shocked by the incident. She got distressed to such an extent that she does not want to discuss the episode with anyone who tries to talk to her. Now let us read on ahead. Tilly Smith, a British schoolgirl, was able to save many lives when the tsunami struck Phuket Beach in Thailand. Though she has won a number of awards, her parents have not allowed their daughter to be interviewed on television and made into a heroine. Why do you think they took that decision? Now, in this part of the lesson, it is about a little girl, Tilly Smith, who is a British girl, and it talks about how she managed to save many lives. The tsunami hit areas of Thailand as well. And this story is about Tilly's family, the Smith family, who came to southern Thailand from southeast England in order to celebrate Christmas at a beach resort. Penny and Colin Smith had two daughters. Tilly Smith, a 10-year-old schoolgirl, and the other one was 7 years old. On the day of December 26, 2004, they had experienced an earthquake. Now, the Smith family from southeast England were celebrating Christmas at a beach resort in southern Thailand. Tilly Smith was a 10-year-old girl. Her sister was 7 years old. Their parents were Penny and Colin Smith. It was December 26, 2004. Deadly tsunami waves were already on their way. They had been triggered by a massive earthquake off northern Sumatra earlier that morning. The water was swelling and kept coming in. Penny Smith remembered. The beach was getting smaller and smaller. I didn't know what was happening. So, here, as we can see, the meaning of the word resort means a place where people go on a holiday. Triggered means caused something to happen. That means here a sudden violent reaction. An undersea earthquake caused the tsunami. So as we can see that the Smith family was holidaying in Thailand and the tsunami was on its way. Penny, uh, uh, that is Penny and Colin, they remember seeing the water swelling as it kept coming in, making the beach get smaller and smaller. But Tilly's mother couldn't understand why that was happening. But Tilly Smith sensed that something was wrong. Her mind kept going back to a geography lesson she had taken in England just 2 weeks before. She flew out to Thailand with her family. Tilly saw the sea slowly rise and start to foam, bubbles and form whirlpools. She remembered that she had seen this in class in a video of a tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian Islands in 1946. Her geography teacher had shown her class the video and told them that tsunamis can be caused by earthquakes, volcanoes, and landslides. Tilly started to scream at her family to get off the beach. She talked about an earthquake under the sea. She got more and more hysterical, said her mother Penny. I didn't know what a tsunami was, but seeing my daughter so frightened, I thought something serious must be going on. Now, the meaning of the word hysterical is when you are overly excited, when you shout, laugh, or cry in a wild and very excited way without any reason. So here, Tilly knew that something was very wrong, and her mind went back to the time, uh, say, 2 weeks ago, in a geography class back in England, before she came for the vacation. At that time, she saw in a video shown by her geography teacher that the seawater rising and forming whirlpools. And at that time, that was a video of a tsunami that had hit the Hawaiian Islands in 1946. The teacher had also told them the causes of tsunamis, which could be earthquakes, volcanoes, and landslides. And then she realized what was happening. She started shouting at her family to get away from the beach. Her mother later said that she was referring to some earthquake under the sea and she got terrified and uncontrollable. Penny, her mother, said She did not know what a tsunami was, but looking at her daughter so terrified, she anticipated something serious was about to take place. So let us read on ahead. Tilly's parents took her and her sister away from the beach to the swimming pool at the hotel. A number of other tourists also left the beach with them. Then it was as if the entire sea had come out after them. I was screaming, "Run!" The family took refuge in the third floor of the hotel. The building withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. If they had stayed on the beach, they would not have been alive. The Smiths later met other tourists who had lost entire families. Thanks to Tilly and her geography lesson, they had been forewarned. Tilly went back to her school in England and told her classmates her terrifying tale. So, children, let us look at the meanings of the word. The word refuge means shelter or protection from danger. And the word withstood means endured without collapsing. That means it was able to stand. Surge means force or momentum, the force of the water. So here, Tilly's parents, looking at Tilly's reaction, took their daughters to the hotel swimming pool to get away from the beach. And a number of tourists, seeing them going away from the scene, also followed them. Then they saw great waves coming after them as if the whole sea had come out. Penny screamed for everyone to run out of danger's way. They took shelter on the third floor of the hotel, and the hotel building survived three, not one or two, but 3 tsunami waves. Her mother further added that they wouldn't have been able to be alive if they had been at the beach. Then the Smith family later on got the chance of meeting other tourists who had lost their entire families during the tsunami. All credit went to Tilly and her geography lesson and the geography teacher, and because of that, they had been forewarned. Later, Tilly told her this entire incident to her classmates in England. Now, let us go on to the third part of the lesson. Here, there is a boy and a dog, and like he's sitting at a beach where, the tsunami has hit. Before the giant waves slammed into the coast in India and Sri Lanka, wild and domestic animals seemed to know what was about to happen. They fled to safety. According to eyewitness accounts, elephants screamed and ran for higher ground. Dogs refused to go outdoors. Flamingos abandoned their low-lying breeding areas. And zoo animals rushed into their shelters and could not be enticed to come out. Many people believe that animals possess a sixth sense and know when the earth is going to shake. Some experts believe that animals' more acute hearing helps them to feel or hear the earth's vibration. They can sense an approaching disaster long before humans realize what is going on. So, children, as we can see, it is believed that before the waves hit Sri Lanka and India, wild and domestic animals knew something was about to happen, and because of that, they ran out of danger's way to places that were safe. A few eyewitnesses, that means people who saw, gave a first-hand description of how elephants ran for higher ground. They screamed. Flamingos also left their low-lying breeding grounds. Zoo animals ran into their shelters, and no amount of coaxing was able to bring them out. Even dogs refused to get out of the house. So, it is a well-known fact among people that animals are intuitive. They have a kind of a sixth sense towards the earth shaking. Some experts are of the opinion that they can hear or feel the earth's vibrations in advance because they have enhanced acute hearing abilities. And that is why they can sense an approaching disaster much before humans even know what is happening. So, it is obvious that we cannot say, we cannot be sure whether animals have a sixth sense or not. But the fact is, The giant waves that rolled through the Indian Ocean killed more than 150,000 people in a dozen countries. But not many animals have been reported dead. Along India's Cuddalore coast, where thousands of people perished, buffaloes, goats, and dogs were found unharmed. The Yala National Park in Sri Lanka is home to a variety of animals, including elephants, leopards, and 130 species of birds. 60 visitors were washed away from the Patanangala beach inside the park. Now, at India's Cuddalore coast, when the waves took the lives of around 1,000 people, 150, 150,000 people, animals like buffaloes, goats, and dogs were unharmed. On the other hand, in the Yala National Park, 60 visitors got taken away by the water, but no animals were harmed except for two water buffaloes. A point to be noted is that the Yala National Park is the home to a large number of animals like elephants, leopards, and around 130 species of birds. So, these reports were there seeing three elephants running away from the Patanangala beach 1 hour before the waves came in. But no animal carcasses were found, especially except for two water buffaloes. About an hour before the tsunami came, they observed three elephants running away from the Patanangala beach. A Sri Lankan gentleman who lives on the coast near Galle said his two dogs would not go for their daily run on the beach. They are usually excited to go on this outing, he said, but on that day they refused to go and most probably saved his life. So, as we can see, children, that there are many instances which go on to prove the fact that animals have some way of knowing that some disaster is about to take place, especially earthquake, and that was the reason why there were no casualties. No animal bodies were found except for two water buffaloes. Even elephants ran away from the beach, and another Sri Lankan gentleman who lives close to the coast said that he found it very surprising that every day his dogs would be eager to go for their daily run, but that day they refused to go, and because of that, he was able to save his life. So, children, I hope you have understood this lesson. Now, let us have a look at the question answers, working with the text. When he felt the earthquake, do you think Ignatius immediately worried about a tsunami? No, Ignatius did not suspect the earthquake to be a tsunami. It was evident that as soon as he learnt about it, his first action was not to run, but to keep the television off the table and evacuate the house as soon as possible. This line suggests that his family was so short on time, that means they didn't have sufficient time. They could not even decide their course of action, and the tsunami struck. In the chaos and confusion, two of his children caught hold of the hands of their mother's father and mother's brother and rushed in the opposite direction. Now, let us look at the words, the list that is given below that describes Sanjeev. The words that describe Sanjeev are brave, heroic, and selfless. I don't know if Sanjeev was cheerful, ambitious, or brash. I think he was very brave, heroic, and selfless. Sanjeev was not heartless, careless, or humorous. How are Meghna and Almas's stories similar? They are quite similar. Meghna got swept away by the waves with her entire family. It was only in the sea that she found a wooden door and she would not let it go. Almas, on the other hand, lost her entire family, but she found a wooden log and she climbed on it and survived. So both of them took the opportunity to save themselves by taking help from an item made of wood. Now the next question. What are the different ways in which Tilly's parents could have reacted to her behavior? What would you have done if you were in their place? Tilly's parents could have ignored her warnings and considering her to be a child. It often happens that sometimes parents ignore what a child is saying because they think they can find a better solution. In an extreme case scenario, they could have scolded her or they could have been for being hysterical, and it is because of this type of behavior that the child is not appreciated by parents. But had I been in this situation, I would have done exactly what Tilly's parents did. That is to hear what the child is saying. I am clueless, and I would have taken my family along with other people to a safer place, just like Tilly's parents did. And if Tilly's award was to be shared, who do you think she should share it with, children? Her parents or with her geography teacher? Tilly's parents did a wonderful job of rushing away from the beach with her family. And if, however, her award was to be shared with only one party, I think it should be shared with her geography teacher for doing such a wonderful job of illustrating the disaster to the students. It is because of him that Tilly was able to save so many lives. Then, what are the two different ideas about why so few animals were killed? Which idea do you find more believable? The fact that very few animals became victims of the tsunami raises two beliefs. One is, the first belief says that animals have a sixth sense and that allows them to predict the Earth's vibrations. On the other hand, few experts believe that because of their acute hearing abilities, they can feel a disaster is on the way. The idea that suggests that is because of their enhanced hearing sensitivity, they are able to preconceive the happening of a disaster. But nothing can be said about their sixth sense, as animals cannot talk. Now let us look at the grammar exercises. Go through part 1 and make a list of as many words as you can to indicate movement, fast movement, slow movement. Okay, children? So, fast movement would be fall, rushed, swept away, washed away, and slow movement would be rising, recede, and neither slow or fast would be floating. Now, let us go on to the fill in the blanks in the sentences given below. The earth trembled, but not many people felt the trembling. The second one, when the zoo was flooded, there was a lot of confusion. We heard with relief. Then the zookeeper was stuck in a tree and his rescue was filmed by the TV crew. There was much excitement. Then the next exercise is study the sentences in the column A and B and say whether the following sentences are in the active or passive voice. Alma's Meghna was swept away. The waves swept Meghna away. So these are sentences that are given. The answers are already given there. So we have to say whether the following sentences are in the active or passive voice. Now, somebody stole my bicycle is in the active voice. The tires were deflated by the traffic police. Whenever we see the word by, we must understand that it is not active but it is passive voice. Then the next one, I found it last night in a ditch near my house. The third sentence is active voice. The fourth one, it had been thrown here. That is passive voice. My father gave it to the mechanic is active voice. The mechanic repaired it for me is also active voice. Speaking and writing. The speaking exercises we will do when we meet. Now, do you remember any incident when something that you learned in the classroom helped you in some other way outside the classroom? I would like you to write your experiences in a paragraph of 90 to 100 words, or no, I would like you to write this paragraph so that it improves your language, your vocabulary, and also your thoughts uh, to be able to express yourself well. So, thank you, children, and have a nice day.